This is RD Sharma Solution Class 12 Chapter 16. Maxima and Minima MCQ we are taking multiple choice questions. The number which exceeds its square by the greatest possible quantity is. Now we have to make an equation here. The only important thing in this question is to make the first equation. So let us assume that the number is x. The number is x. Now it exceeds its square. What is square? X square. By the greatest possible quantity is. X is the number. It is exceeding x square. That is the square of the number. That is the difference between x and x square. Whatever is this will be, it has to be the greatest possible quantity. So the function is x minus x square. F dash x will be what? The differentiation will be. Because the next thing will be differentiation. 1 minus 2x. The third thing will be the differentiation equated to 0. So that we get the critical point. 1 minus 2x equals to 0 means x is equal to 1 by 2. Now this x is equals to 1 by 2 is the critical point. And the next thing will be just to show the examiner that we are actually finding the greatest possible quantity. When f double dash x is negative 2 is indicating less than 0 means the maximum value or the greatest possible value. So we are talking about the local maxima here. X is equal to half. This is your x equals to half is the answer here. The number x which exceeds its square is half. So this is very straightforward question, and if you are able to make the equation, I don't think there is any problem at all. Now please remember and do see this question very carefully, because this kind of question is going to come later on also. So we have a function here. We have to have this fx has a minimum at x equals to what? We start with the first one, which is our fx, and we will differentiate it. So I am writing the differentiation equation is already in front of you. I am double differentiating it. So it will be 2x minus a plus 2 into x minus b, because the differentiation of x minus a and x minus b and x minus c independently are 1 only. So you get 2x minus c. This is the differentiation or derivative, first derivative. Now second thing will be what? The second thing is equating this to 0. F dash x has to be equal to 0. So once you equate it to 0, you can just divide either side, left hand side and right hand side, by 2. So we'll get this x minus a, x minus b, x minus c added. So this first equation, 1 equated to 0 divided by 2, we get x minus a plus x minus b plus x minus c equals to 0. This becomes 3x equals to a plus b plus c. So this will give you x equals to a plus b plus c divided by 3. Now, are you getting the answer? Yes. The first one is the x. But just one more step we have to go ahead and show it to the examiner. We have to double differentiate this. Fx has to be done as f double dash x. So when we double differentiate it, again, as I said, x minus a differentiation will be 1 only. So you'll get 2. X minus b differentiation is again 1. So 2. X minus c differentiation is 1. So 2. So you get a 6. F double dash x is 6, which is positive. Positive means the minimum value. You wanted the minimum. This is the minimum. So this is how you have to do it. This is a very straightforward question again. And the languages you have to write. The sum of two non-zero numbers is 8. So we have one number as x. The addition of this x with another number is 8. So if one number is x, the other number will be 8 minus x. The minimum value of the sum of its reciprocal. Reciprocal is just the number kept as a denominator below 1. So 1 by x plus 1 by y is the addition of the reciprocals. So we have the sum of two non-zero numbers 8 that we have already made. One number is x, one number is 8 minus x. That is your first one. So again, I am just showing you y equals to 8 minus x. So we have x and 8 minus x. These are the two numbers. Then we have the 1 by x plus 1 by y. This is the sum of the reciprocal. So this is the function we have to start with and differentiate. So in place of y, just replace it by 8 minus x. 1 by x plus 1 by 8 minus x it is. So I am just now differentiating it. You already know how differentiation goes. And what will be the differentiation of this function? F dash x will be equal to 1 by x differentiation is minus 1 by x square. Then we have 1 by 8 minus x. So we have 1 by 8 minus x whole square. It will be negative in front. Differentiation of 8 minus x will be negative 1. That is why we have a negative in between, and negative, this will become, see, f double dash x will be found just now, but before that we have to equate this to 0. So we get the equation, and this equation has to be expanded so that you get the simplified version. So 8 minus x whole square equals to x square. When you equate this, 8 minus x square will be equal to a square plus b square minus 2ab. So this is x square equals to 64 plus x square minus 2 into 8 into 6, 16x. So this x square gets cancelled. 64 is equal to 16x. X will be equal to 64 by 16. 16 4s are 64. X is equal to 4. And what is y? Y is equal to 8 minus x. This is already being established in the question. In the first part, if you see. So y is equal to 8 minus x. It will be 8 minus 4. That is going to be 4. So what is the minimum value? The question is asking about the minimum value of this sum of the reciprocals. So we are interested in 1 by x plus 1 by y. And we already got x and y as 4. So 1 by 4 plus 1 by 4 is what? It's 2 by 4. That is actually equal to 1 by 2. So this is your answer, 1 by 2. Now, do you think we have finished the question? No. One more step we have to do. Actually, this is just to verify. Double differentiation you have to do, and then replace x by 4 and see what value is coming. I'm not talking about the value, actually the sign of the value. If you see, when you double dash this differentiation, it will be 2 by x cube minus 2 by 8 minus x whole cube. When you put x equals to 4, it will be what? It is going to be 0. Don't worry about that. Don't worry. Because normally we take 0 as positive. There is no concept of negative 0. So here you can say if it is positive, you are getting a minimum value. And what is the minimum value? That is going to be 1 by 2. Please remember, in the number 9, we always start negative with negative 1 if we are talking about integers. So 0 is the first positive integer. That is why if it is positive, we are going to get the minimum value. So whatever we discussed just now, this is all what you have to follow. And those who are doing by themselves, they can refer this particular solution and try to solve it, because this is a kind of important question. Now, as I was indicating, we have already done a question like this. So we are going to use that concept. Only the function which is given here is in a different form. So we have to assume the minimum value at x equals to what? The function will assume minimum value at x equals to what? So we have to find out the value of x. So the first thing fx is what? It is sigma. Sigma starts from 1 to 5. So sigma is summation. We'll take x minus r whole square. First we'll put r equal to 1. So it will be x minus 1 whole square. Plus, because this sigma is addition. Plus x minus 2 whole square. Now we'll put r equals to 3. So it will be 3x minus 3 whole square. Then we take x equals to 4. So we get x minus 4 whole square. Then we place x equals to r equals to 5. X minus 5 whole square. So this is the whole equation. And if you remember x minus a whole square, x minus b, x minus c whole square, already that question has been completed. So this is differentiation now. Twice x minus 1 plus twice x minus 2 plus twice x minus 3 plus twice x minus 4 plus twice x minus 5. This is the first differential or first differentiation. Then what we'll do? We have to equate it to 0. So when we equate it to 0, the better thing is to take 2 outside. You have to just add x minus 1 till x minus 5. So there are 5 x's here, and 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5, that is going to be 15. So 5x minus 15 you are going to get. So twice of 5x minus 15. This is f dash x. Next will be f dash x equals to 0. You have to equate this to 0. When you equate this to 0, you can divide both sides by, you can take 5 also outside. So you'll get 10x minus 3. So it is 10 into x minus 3, and you are equating it to 0. So if you divide both sides by 10, x minus 3 equals to 0, x will be equal to 3. So x equals to 3 is our answer. Because the function this assumes minimum value at x equals to 3. We have already got the answer. So you can just, if this is an MCQ, you can just tick this one and just go forward. But if this question is not coming in MCQ, you have to solve it. Then you have to do the double differentiation also. This double differentiation is essential. Double differentiation of the first derivative. And then you have to put this x equals to 3 and find out the sign of the value which is going to come when you put x equals to 3 in the double differentiated value. So what do you get? This is 10, this is positive, this is minimum. So how are you going to solve this? All this I have already explained you, and the languages are very important, like for local maxima minima we must have, for x equals to, so x equals to 3 is a local minima. Now this is a trigonometric question, but it has some twist or something which is to be explained, and that explanation is you can just propagate or divulge it to various other questions of this sort, because this is a trigonometric question. Now at x equals to 5 pi by 6, fx equals to this is. So we need to find out the value of the function at x equals to 5 pi by 6. So what do you get? Let us differentiate this. If we don't know anything, in minima and maxima we always differentiate it. So when we differentiate it, this 2 sine 3x plus 3 cos 3x, we get 6 cos 3x minus sine 3x, and what this 3 is a 9. So 9 sine 3x. Next one is the differentiated value equated to 0. So 6 cos 3x minus 9 sine 3x has to be equated to 0. When you equate it to 0, it will be 6 cos 3x is equal to 9 sine 3x. So you get 10 3x equals to 6 by 9. Sin 3x by cos 3x is 10. 6 by 9 is 2 by 3. So 10 3x is equal to 2 by 3. Now you tell me, what are you going to get? Because when you put this equals to 0, the x value what you get is the point of minimum or maximum. Alright. So at certain point x equal to what, you are going to get some minimum and maximum value. But this question is saying at x equals to 5 pi by 6, this function is having a value which is minimum, maximum or what? So just put x equals to 5 pi by 6 in the single differentiation value, and then the double differentiate it and then equate it to, then find out what is the sign of that function. I hope you are getting the point. Even if we put x equals to 5 pi by 6 at this, when we placed equals to 0, we got tan 3x equals to 2 by 3. And when we put 5 pi by 6 in this tan 3x, we got 10 5 pi by 2. And 5 pi by 2 is simply 10 2 pi plus pi by 2. That is 10 2 pi plus pi by 2 and 10 360 plus pi by 2. So every function, it always repeats after 2 pi. So if you have 10 2 pi plus pi by 2, it is going to be 10 pi by 2 only. So 10 5 pi by 6, when you take 10 3x, whether it is equal to 2 by 3 or not. I hope you are getting the idea. I am trying to convince you that this function is going to give you something different, and which is not 0 minimum or maximum. So you have this 450 degree, which is essentially 5 pi by 6. You can multiply it by 180 by pi in order to get what kind of value you are getting. So this 2 pi plus pi by 2, as I was indicating, this is 450 degree. It's simply 360 plus 90 degree. So you get 1090 degree. What is value of 1090 degree? You just tell me. 1090 degree is infinite. Are you getting it? 10 infinite, 10 pi by 2 is infinite value, because it is simply sine pi by 2 by cos pi by 2. And sine pi by 2 is, because sine pi by 2 is 1, cos pi by 2 is 0, 1 by 0 is undefined. So 10 pi by 2 is undefined. Tan 3x is equal to undefined value. So what do you get? All these, see, I'm trying to give you all the flavors, and you can conclude or you can find out, and you can just take it as a story. And this story has no ending. So when you have this 10x equals to 2 by 3, it is not going to come first of all. Okay, you have to find out that 3x forward which you get 2 by 3 when you apply tan for this. And that is not going to happen at all. Even if you put the value x equals to pi by 6, you are going to get 10 pi by 2. So 10 3x equals to 10 pi by 2, you can say 3x equals to pi by 2. For example, just one more event to the story. So you will get x equals to pi by 6, which is not going to convince at all. Alright. So the thing is, whichever the value which is given here is not going to give you any fruitful result. But if you come up with any result, you are most welcome to just comment and tell us that yes, I got this one. So when we did all this, 10x 3x cannot be equal to 2 by 3. It is not satisfying the equation number 1 which you see here. So x equals to 5 by 6 not a critical point. And if you have no critical point, you are not going to get the value at all, because these minimum maximum only comes at critical value, critical points. And critical points is already given in the question, which is not fulfilling the request of either minimum or maximum when we did all these steps which we have learned in our previous discussions. None of these is the answer. If x lies in the interval 0 to 1, then the least value of x square plus x plus 1 is. Now, this question seems to be very easy, but let me tell you it is not. You'll just see now. Fx is equal to x square plus x plus 1. What is the minimum maximum criteria? We differentiate it. It is quite easy. 2x plus 1 is the differentiation. We equate it to 0. That is what we have been following. 2x plus 1 equals to 0. So x is equal to negative half. X equals to negative half. Now here is the problem. What is the problem? The problem is that x lies in the interval 0 to 1. It is already given in the question. But x equals to negative half is not lying in this interval. When x is not lying in 0 to 1, because x can only lie between 0 and 1. But x is coming as negative half. X is negative half is not coming in this interval. So we have no other option but to check the least value of this function only at the corner points or the end points or the extreme points or the interval points. So we'll check f0, f1. We will directly use the equation number 1, which is already given in the question, x square plus x plus 1. One time we'll put 0, one time we'll put f1. At f0 you get 1, at f1 you get 3. What is the least of them? 1. So you are getting 1 at what? At 0, at x equals to 0. So what is the minimum value? What is the minimum value? It's 1. Even if you double differentiate this, you are going to get 2. So even if you get 2, you are getting what? 2 is the maximum value. 2 is positive. So it is going to, positive means you are going to get minimum value. And minimum value at what value? X equals to minus half, but x equal to minus half is not in the interval. So you can check only at 0 and 1, and f0 will give you 1. The least value of the function, this one, is in the interval 0 to 9. Now same thing, the interval when it is given, that means this question is targeting some other part of your brain which is not yet being challenged. F dash x is simple differentiation, that is 3x square minus 36x plus 96. This single differentiation is quite easy for you. Next step, what do? You equate it to 0. F dash x equals to 0. When you equate it to 0, you get 3x square minus 36 plus 96 equals to 0. You can take 3 common outside. So and divide both sides by 3 because it is 0 anyways on the right hand side. So x square minus 12x plus 32 equals to 0. When you have this quadratic equation, you can find out the roots, or you can find out the critical points, or you can find out the factors. So when you have x minus 4 and x minus 8 as the factor, either if x will solve at 4 or x will solve at 8 because it is equated to 0. When you equate it to 0, 4 and 8 are coming and they are inside 0 to 9. Now what previous question minus half was outside the interval. Here 4 and 8 are inside the interval. When they are inside the interval, that is from 0 to 9, you have 2 more critical points, 4 and 8, to be checked. Or because the function is asking about the least value of the function in this interval, and there are 2 critical points along with the end points, which is 0 and 9, we are going to just place this value in the original function. So we'll find out f0, f4, f8, f9. I hope you got the idea. So this 0, 4, 8, 9 you have to place in this equation. Try to find out the value, take the minimum out, that is the least one, and that is going to be your answer. Because we have to find out the least value of the function. So this is f0 is 0, f4 is 160, f8 you are going to get 128, f9 it will be 135. So what is the minimum value? 0. Minimum is 0. If the question would have been the highest value of the function, it would have been f4, which is 160. So 160 is matching, 135 is matching. So this question is a classic example of a different question that we have already done. So this is the least value, which is 0 in this case. This is your answer, okay? How are you going to solve this? This is a kind of different question, but very easy if you understand the logic. Okay, this question we'll take in the next discussion. Till then, thank you so much and take care of yourself.